This week on the Big Thunder podcast, the Bayou is finally revealed. How and when will you be able to join the adventure?
City Walk is about to get an epic new attraction. So why does it make Beau so sad?
There's a new vacation experience that'll make your heart feel like someone hit it with Wingardium Leviosa.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Plus, it's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to play a Muppet-inspired game on the Big Thunder podcast tonight. Or morning. I don't know when you're listening to this.
All that and much, much more. Buckle up.
Hey everybody, it's time to hop aboard the Big Thunder Podcast. Wildest podcast in the wilderness. Yeehaw! And here's your hosts, Beau and Abby.
Welcome to the Big Thunder Podcast. We're your host, Beau.
And Abby.
On the Big Thunder Podcast, we talk all the buzz around of Disney and Universal theme parks and, play a fun but ultimately stupid game. There are time codes below if you want to jump around and jump topics, but we're going to get right into the roundup.
Fancy with the time codes over here.
Yep. I figure not everyone's here for the news, so people are here for the shenanigans.
How do you know that the news aren't shenanigans?
Very true. We are going to start on some somber news, though, kicking off the show a little down.
Okay.
So Disney legend Richard M. Sherman passed away at the age of 95 from an age-related illness. Very sad, but 95 did some good innings. So for people who aren't aware, Richard and his brother Robert were probably best known as the Sherman Brothers, or just the boys, as Walt Disney would call them. Robert died in 2012. The Sherman Brothers were songwriters on pretty much every Disney song from the 60s and 70s, but probably especially known for Mary Poppins, Jungle Book, Winnie the Pooh, It's a Small World, and your favorite song, the Tiki 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 Room. Richard primarily would do the music. Robert was more of a writer, but Richard was the last living person allowed to play waltz piano.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So what happens now?
Nobody touches that piano, I would imagine.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, just it is sad, but like those two brothers made quite a legacy in like the pantheon of Disney films. If you want to check out more about them, there's an excellent documentary on Disney Plus called "The Boys: The Sherman Brothers Story," directed by their sons actually. So yeah, highly recommend checking that out on Disney Plus. All right. More current news, maybe a little peppier. It's time for Bayou Watch, because we just watched the Bayou.
We did.
So construction walls are down.
Wait, you didn't leave time for the music.
Oh. Okay. All right, so the construction walls are down. People are finally able to get a good look at the ride from the outside, but Disney did post on the Disney Parks YouTube channel a full POV of the ride. This came after people got a little glimpse of it, a little taste on the We Call It Imagineering show. But yeah, now you can watch the full ride if that's something you want to do. If you're someone going in the near future, maybe avoid spoilers. But like people like us who don't have a trip booked at the moment.
So, talk about depressing.
Yeah. I did do some scratchers this morning because I really thought...
You did?
Yeah, well, like, I was getting gas, and I found 3 face-up pennies.
Oh, Lord.
And I was like, well, I gotta get some scratch tickets. So I got some scratchers, and they're all duds, so...
maybe you're not supposed to get those. Go back.
I know. The problem was, like, when we do scratchers... Hey, man, we're on a tangent. When we do scratchers, it's always like, what's the first one you see? And that's the one you're supposed to get. I didn't. Because the first one I saw was a $10 one. I didn't think I could
You gotta pay to play, babe.
I know. But...
Oh, well.
Okay, so back to Tiana.
Okay.
So yeah, check out the YouTube video if that's something you want. Otherwise, if you're an annual pass holder, previews for you begin on June 13th. You need a park reservation and a virtual queue in order to check that out.
Park reservation, eh?
Yeah, if you want to do...
Wow.
Yeah, if you want to do the ride Tiana early for the annual pass holders, park reservation, and then you got to get in that virtual queue.
You said June 13th?
June 13th.
Oh, that's going to be a busy day there.
Yes, very much so. And then it is officially open to the public on June 28th.
Right before the holiday weekend.
Yep.
Or maybe that is... No.
June 28th before the 4th.
Before the holiday, yeah.
Okay, what were your thoughts?
What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it looks great. What are your thoughts?
I think it looks so good. I don't remember Splash Mountain other than like right before the big drop and then the big drop. I did not remember it being such a long ride.
Right.
At all.
Yeah, I didn't either.
There was a lot of parts where like nothing was really happening. You're just kind of like looking at like the park or looking at things, and I think that's lovely.
Yeah.
I think it looks amazing, and I can't wait to go.
The animatronics look great.
Even just the vibe.
Songs are great. Yeah.
I want to ride it at night, like the videos at night or like dusk.
Yeah.
It's super pretty. I want to ride it in the day, but I really, really want to ride it at night.
Yeah. I'm excited to visit the Bayou and not have to worry about mosquitoes.
Because Disney doesn't allow mosquitoes.
Correct.
Yeah.
You asked me if I wanted to record like our live reactions, do a reaction video, and I said no because really, for most of the time, the reactions for me are just like, yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't do that. Man, it looks fun. But yeah, it is very cool.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. To the equally as exciting news, Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith will be open on Saturday, July 27th.
Aw. No, they didn't retheme it?
No, there are no changes like people had hoped.
Whoa, that's a long closure for zero change.
Yeah, it's just a routine refurbishment.
Dang.
Yep. It sure would have been cool if they would update that with maybe a colorful cast of characters we'll be talking about later.
Yeah. That would maybe get me to ride it again.
Yeah.
As if it switched to the Muppets.
Yeah. Other things we got to first look at this week is Moana 2. First we had the new posters that came out and then the teaser trailer. What were your thoughts? It's a teaser, so we don't know much about the plot.
Right. I think it looks good. I love Moana.
Yeah.
You said Lynn is not back for music.
As of now, it is not Lynn.
That makes me a stitch bit nervous. Not nervous, but like less excited. Just because the music in the first one is so good.
Yeah.
Love Moana. Love her family. Love the story. Love Maui.
Yeah. One of the things that made me less nervous about this is I was concerned that the quality of animation would be less because of the way it was produced. As, I think people know, this Moana movie was originally supposed to be like a limited series on Disney Plus.
A show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why Lynn's not back for it because
Right.
they have other musicians involved. It was originally not going to have the original voice cast of Ali Carvalho and The Rock. But once it became a movie, then they came back.
That would have been weird.
Yes. And
because their voices are so like important.
Yes.
Okay.
And then if you look at like the Monsters Inc. show, for example, that's on Disney Plus, it is not the quality of the Monsters Inc. movies.
I don't know that I've ever seen it.
We've watched a few episodes. It's not Pixar that's doing it. Like Pixar does the movies and there's like another studio that does the Monsters Inc. show. So I was concerned the animation was going to be poor. Or at least not as good. And this teaser made me feel much better about that because the animation looks just as good as the original. I am concerned for the animators because they brought the voice talent in so late. Because typically how it goes is you get your audio first and then the animators can animate to that.
Right.
But now if they're redoing all the all the dialogue for those two characters, I would imagine they're not trying to make the actors match the current lip sync. So like the animators are going to have to go back and redo that, and hopefully they're not being crunched like tends to happen in the animated world.
That's why it looks so good, is because they're reanimating.
Yeah, but I just hope they're not.
Yeah.
Like, you hear a lot of stories of animators being like, yeah, we worked for 23 hours a day and we were barely allowed to leave to go to the bathroom.
Hopefully Disney doesn't do that, though.
Like, the only studio I've ever heard not do that in recent years has been for the Ninja Turtles Meet Mayhem. Like, everyone else pretty much is like, we need a union.
Yeah, they do. If that is how their life is, they do.
Moana 2 is hitting theaters November 27th, which is the day before Thanksgiving. It will be competing with Wicked. So that'll be an interesting one. I don't foresee either of these two budging from that date, But I feel like there's going to be a lot of overlap in audience for those two. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, you have to pick which one we're going to.
Moana 2.
Yeah, I agree.
But if I wasn't doing this podcast, I'd probably say Wicked.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I would pick Moana.
Yeah. I've wanted to see Wicked for a very long time, and it's just never been fathomable. And I have always just said to be like, well, I'm sure someday they'll make a movie. So.
Yeah.
All right, last bit of news. This is out of Universal Orlando. They'll be opening on City Walk the Universal Epic Universe Preview Center this June.
Ooh, a preview center.
Yes. So what this is an all-new interactive experience that will allow guests to get an up-close look at the new theme park ahead of its opening in 2025. Guests will have the chance to check out a massive model of the entire park, highlighting many of the attractions and experiences coming to the new theme park, Epic Universe 2025.
Cool.
Guests will also be able to see exciting elements of the model come to life via augmented reality on compatible mobile devices, shop a variety of brand new collections of Epic Universe merch, and pose for pictures with unique backgrounds themed to each park's 5 spectacular worlds. Sounds cool.
It does sound cool. What are they getting rid of to put this there?
It has the Universal Legacy store.
Oh.
So that would be the store where you could buy Jaws stuff, Back to the Future stuff. It's where Charlie got her little E.T. doll, your little TT. You know, a lot of Harry Potter stuff in there.
Why'd they close Cinnabon?
I mean, you can still get Cinnabon on City Walk. It's just not in its own place. So
where do you get it?
You can continue to get your Cinnabons at the City Walk Bakery. Everybody be cool.
Listen. We got to give the people the things that they want to know.
Yeah. And if anyone should want to plan a trip to Orlando to check out the Rock and Roller Coaster, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, or the Universal Epic Universe Preview Center, they should contact
Mini Vacay. My best friend Liz and I are Disney travel planners, and we also plan Universal trips, and our company is called Mini Vacay. Mini Vacay is a partner with Gateway to Magic Travel, which is an authorized Disney vacation planner and a Disney earmarked agency. That just means they're legitimate. Our services are completely free, and we can't wait to help you plan your next magical vacation.
The last time you planned a trip for me, I got this cool mug.
I didn't even notice. I got this shirt.
For those of you watching on YouTube, you'll be able to tell that this is my Gaston mug that once held LeFou's brew. Mm-hmm. Tell me more about this Harry Potter vacation that I just found out about.
Yes, so if you are a Harry Potter fan, Universal offers a Wizarding World of Harry Potter vacation package where you get to do special things that you wouldn't get to do if you did not book it, or like get little like gifts and souvenirs from it. So if you are a big Harry Potter fan, reach out and we can talk more about it. But it's pretty cool.
And if you don't, Avada Kedavra.
What does that mean?
That's the killing one.
Ooh.
Ka-chow. That's Lightning McQueen. See, we've got green lights now.
Ooh.
Yep. They say it's not easy being green, but
yeah,
it was pretty easy to turn these lights green. So I made it, no secret, my love for the Muppets. I legitimately believe they are one of the all-time great comedy acts in the history of the planet Earth.
Wow.
It's high praise, and I believe that 100% in my core being. This past Friday, to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Muppets, Disney released a new documentary directed by Ron Howard. Jim Henson, Idea Man. It's on Disney Plus. We watched it. What were your thoughts?
I thought it was very good. I learned a lot about him that I didn't know. I think the most shocking was, for whatever reason, I thought he died of cancer.
Okay.
Maybe I was just, making assumptions. So, learning about his death was, even more sad.
Yeah.
And that he was so young because he looked so old.
Yeah. Well, that's just the time.
I know. That was my big takeaway.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really interesting to learn about the history of his wife and how she had such a huge part and gets zero credit.
I would agree with that.
I was kind of mad at the beginning.
I also was, yeah.
I was just like, okay, so she basically was just as important, if not more important, in the creation of Kermit. She named him. Like, all these things. Yeah. And no credit. So.
Yeah. I would agree. But, I mean, it's the time.
I know. Rude.
I agree. Yeah. I definitely think.
Is his wife still alive? I couldn't. Ex-wife. Spoilers. Yeah. Is she still alive? I
don't think so.
Okay. Because his kids seemed fairly old.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, I mean, like.
Well, if you think, like, he was born in the 30s, Jim Henson. Yeah. So he would be, like, 90 years old now.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
What did you think?
Well, Jim Henson's on my Mount Rushmore of, like, creators who have influenced me. So, yeah, I got a little emotional there at the end, as I knew, because, like, I was preparing myself. I was like, I know Big Bird's coming out at this funeral. I know he's coming. Steal yourself!
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah. But yeah. It's a good show though. Worth a watch.
Good show. It was good. It was really fun to learn more about like just how it came about. And like Sesame Street has always had a really special place in our home. And like growing up, I watched Sesame Street like every single day. I learned so much. I actually started dancing because there was a guy who would tap dance on Sesame Street. And so like I asked my mom to take dance classes because of that. And so, I don't know, I love Sesame Street, and our oldest pretty much exclusively only watched Sesame Street when she was younger. Yeah. So, especially when they start talking about that, I thought I got, like, really, like, nostalgic.
Yeah. Sesame Street was important to me, I think, because my dad always referred to my brother and I as Bert and Ernie, which is very accurate.
It really is. You being Ernie.
Yes, I am Ernie. My brother is definitely Bert.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. So, in honor of Jim Henson, we'll be playing the game Objectively Subjective. Okay. I'll be asking you a series of subjective questions, meaning they are opinions, but they definitely have a right or wrong answer.
Okay.
Okay. A nice absurdist game in honor of the Muppets.
Okay.
And these will all be themed around the Muppets.
Okay.
Okay. You ready to begin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please no, I don't remember a lot of the Muppets.
I tailored this to your strengths.
Okay. It's just like Star Wars where I love it and I adore it, but I'm like, oh, the dog.
I'm not going to ask
Rolf.
you. Yeah. Who is one of my favorite Muppets, by the way.
Yeah, he's cute.
Yeah, the Rolf segments on the old Muppet Show have been, as I went back and watched them as an adult, the Rolf segments are my favorite.
His head is made out of a basketball. I got to know
that. No, I'm not going to ask you about New Zealand and his boomerang fish, things like that. That won't be on here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know him.
So question 1,
okay.
Who is your Muppet spirit animal?
Miss Piggy.
You'd think that. I'm sorry, that is wrong.
What?
Your spirit animal is actually Kermit, and I'll tell you why.
I mean, I love him too, but Miss Piggy is so sassy.
Correct, and you would love to be Miss Piggy. But Kermit is in charge of wrangling all these unwranglable personalities, and he is filled with a lot of anxiety over it. And he's just trying to get everyone to just put on the show.
Well, that's you too, then. Are we both Kermits?
I have a little. I would say I probably have more Fozzie in me, though.
You have some Fozzie.
But I think you're more of a Kermit than Miss Piggy, so I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, there's 10 questions, so to pass, you need to get 7 correct. It's 70%. And you're down 1 already. Mm-hmm. Objectively Subjective, it's the name of the game. What classic book should be made as a Muppet movie? As you know, some of the best Muppet movies, Muppet Treasure Island, Muppet Christmas Carol is one that gets played annually in this house. Mm-hmm. What other classic book should be made as a Muppet movie?
These could be like the princess movies?
No, we're talking like classic books. Something you'd find at Barnes & Noble for $10.
Mm-hmm. Can I have like 3 options?
Okay, let's say...
There's so many.
Let's say Frankenstein, Pride and Prejudice, To Kill a Mockingbird isn't technically public domain, but I'm going to allow it.
I would watch all of those.
Lord of the Flies. What's other something good? The Count of Monte Cristo.
I want a Pride and Prejudice Muppets.
Okay. So who are your real characters and who are your Muppets? Basically, Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy are your two main characters.
Kermit and Miss Piggy would be them.
I'll give you a half point on this one.
Okay.
Because Pride and Prejudice is the correct answer.
It is?
It is the correct answer. Miss Piggy, playing Elizabeth Bennet, is correct.
Okay.
However, Mr. Darcy needs to be Adam Driver. All right, question 3. Question 3.
Okay.
What movie would be better if everyone except one character was a Muppet? So a current movie, you clear out the whole cast, replace them with Muppets except for one character.
Hold on, I'm trying to think of what is a real life grown up movie we've watched recently? Everything I watch is animated and on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Well, what's the last adult movie you watched?
I don't know. Well, what was the one where they didn't like each other but they ended up together? The rom-com that came
you
out.
watched Anyone But You.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only movie I watched in a long time.
Okay.
Give me 3 hints again.
Well, this one does. Not all of these actually have wrong answers. Spoiler.
Okay.
It's basically, you just have to convince me.
Okay.
You just have to convince me you're right.
Okay, let's pick Titanic.
Okay.
They're all Muppets except. Do I want Rose or Jack? Rose or Jack? Rose or Jack? I'm going to say they're all Muppets except Jack, and Jack is Kermit.
No, well, that'd be all Muppets except Rose.
Sorry, all Muppets except.
You're keeping Kate Winslet, and you're replacing Leo with Kermit.
Sorry, Leo.
I can get behind that.
I love Kate Winslet.
But now that's just me picturing Kermit drawing Kate Winslet like one of his French girls.
And Kermit making that face. Like a scrunched up face. Ah!
All right.
Cute.
We've already kind of talked about this.
Do I get a point for that?
Yeah, you get that one.
Okay.
What Disney ride would be improved with a Muppet overlay?
Rock and Roller Coaster.
That's the low hanging fruit.
It's obvious.
It's right there. Yeah. Aerosmith needs to go. I think they are not a relevant band.
Or keep the songs, sure, but let the Muppets do the cover.
Yeah, if you should replace it with the Electric Mayhem band.
Yeah.
I know they did the recent show on Disney Plus about the Muppet Mayhem, the Electric Mayhem band, and the creator of that show did pitch it to Disney that he was like, "Hey, can we do this?" I think if the show had been a bigger hit, he might have had a little more legs to stand on.
Everybody wants it.
Yeah. Who's around clamoring for Aerosmith?
Yeah. Everybody wants the more Muppets.
Yeah, I'm worried Disney would want to replace it with Maroon 5 or someone like that.
Yeah, I like Maroon 5.
Not more than the Muppets.
Well, no, but if they had to do humans, I would get on board with Maroon 5.
Kermit the Frog famously asked the question, "Why are there so many songs about rainbows?" List all the songs about rainbows.
Can I sing Rainbow? Is Rainbow Connection?
I will.
one?
I will count that as one.
Okay. Well, Kermit. This is probably from the 70s.
That is
Over the Rainbow
Okay.
from Wizard of Oz.
Yep.
I don't know if I know any other ones. Is there did Frankie and Annette sing rainbow songs?
Well, we've got on my list here, I've got Casey Musgraves, Elvis, the Rolling Stones, Sia, Mariah Carey.
Hold up. Sia and Mariah Carey were not around when Kermit was singing about why are there so many songs about rainbows. They'd have to be before that.
This is just a song about rainbows.
But Kermit, it has to be before Kermit wrote that song.
But he still kept singing. He still sings it.
Did I just get you on a technicality? Did I just get bonus points for being smart?
Okay, name all the songs before the Muppet movie came out.
I can't. I just did. What do you got? You worked hard. Tell me about all your rainbow songs.
Well, I mean, first off, a lot of them are just called Rainbow. Rainbow in the Dark by Dio is fantastic. Great song.
I don't know that. I do love Sia's rainbow song.
Yeah.
From My Little Pony.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all I know are children
I'm going to give you a half point on that.
You give me a full point because I am smart and I got you on a technicality. You give me you give me extra credit, sir.
We'll see how you do. All right. Question number 6.
Okay.
Do.
Mana.
That is correct.
That was the question.
Question 7.
Okay.
Is it weird that Regal Eagle is the only pavilion restaurant based on an intellectual property?
That's not true.
Yes, it is. And
No, it's not.
What else in Epcot?
You didn't specifically say Epcot.
I said pavilion restaurant. What other pavilions would we be talking about?
I'm sorry. I just heard it's the only restaurant based on IP.
In World Showcase, where we're showcasing all
World
the cuisines
Showcase,
from across the world.
and the fact that this restaurant doesn't even exist in America outside of World Showcase.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it weird?
No. I mean, because Disney is probably really smart on it because it's like you have to pick one restaurant to represent the literal country that you're in. It's like that will cause war. So they just made their own. And they put the Muppets behind it.
I'm going to give you a half point on that.
Why?
Because you are correct, but for the wrong reason.
Why?
Because there is no more pure example of what America should be than the Muppets. Think about it. This is a bunch of people with nothing in common, coming together, embracing the things that make them unique, who come together as a unit to create something special. That is what the American dream should be. That is what we should all strive to be as Americans. And no more entity better represents that idea than the Muppets. And that is why the Regal Eagle Smokehouse is the best choice for a restaurant in America. It is a salute to cook-offs, but mostly barbecue.
Okay, but to be fair, I agreed with you. I didn't say it.
And that's why you got half a point.
I should get the full point. Your judging system sucks.
The game is objectively subjective. Question 8. What Disney World resort should be rethemed as a Muppet hotel?
Ooh, the whole thing is Muppet?
Yep.
Well, All-Star Music would be easy.
Sure. Is that going to be your
Especially
answer?
because the pool is shaped like a guitar.
Yeah.
Wow,
this is a banjo
banjo
on my shirt.
True.
My Rainbow Connection shirt from the Lost Bros.
We could just kind of, and then put Kermit in the center. Let me think if that felt like an easy one.
Okay.
You know, this is going to be like really controversial, but Pop Century for me could be rethemed to all Muppets.
Okay. Is that what you're going to go with?
Yeah.
That is the correct answer.
Pop Century?
It is Pop Century.
Yeah.
Because really, it's Pop Half a Century.
Yeah.
For the people who don't know, Pop Century was going to be a 2-part hotel bridged or put together by a bridge called the Generation Gap.
Oh,
yes.
I didn't know.
But once the time of 2020 happened, they stopped.
Nope.
What?
2001. It was halted because of
that's
9/11.
a different tragedy.
Yeah, it was.
That's
2020,
right.
babe. 2020 is like.
That's right. It was a different.
Ago.
It was a different tragedy that halted that.
It was 9/11.
I remember it.
So they stopped construction on what was going to be the 90s
The
or the
early.
2000s.
It was like was like the aughts through the 50s or 40s, because Pop Century now is like the 60s through
the
90s.
Okay, yeah. And so they halted construction and it sat vacant a long time, and it is now Art of Animation. It's the Little Mermaid section of Art of Animation.
So I think a Muppet themed hotel right there next to Art of Animation, it makes sense. Get rid of
fun.
Pop Half Century.
Yeah, I would definitely want to go there.
Yeah.
For the Muppets.
So that is the correct answer, Pop Century.
Cool.
All right. Where is Miss Piggy's favorite place to eat in Disney World?
All of Disney World?
Yeah, the parks. I'm not worried about
not resorts. Because I was gonna say Riviera.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say Topolino's. I am going to say I feel like she's fancy.
Mm-hmm. I think she is the fanciest Muppet.
So do you feel like she wants a fancy dinner, or do you think is she like having a park day and just like wants a quick service?
Look, even if she's having a park day, it's going to be the fanciest park day anyone's ever had.
That's true. Okay. So obviously we're going to go to Oh my God. What's it called? It's where it's like 250 Alberts.
Victoria
Alberts. No, that's at a resort.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so Le Cellier.
I think it's a Grand Floridian.
Yeah. Is it the French restaurant? The Le Cellier?
Isn't that in Canada?
Okay, so it's not that one. It's the French restaurant. What's it called?
You can't Google.
Okay, it's the fancy French restaurant in Epcot.
That is correct. It's Monsieur Paul's.
Monsieur Paul, thank you. That's it.
That is correct. That is where Miss Piggy would have dinner.
Because she's a fancy girl.
All right. This is the final question.
Okay.
Okay. Of Objectively Subjective Muppets Edition.
Mm-hmm. Who is the best Muppet?
No. Oh. Everybody knows who the best Muppet is. Let me know in the comments if you know who the best Muppet is. If Hollywood Studios were to create a Scentsy-sponsored scavenger hunt...
Why do you do this to me?
...based on the Muppets, what would the smells be? For the Muppets.
I was going to say Miss Piggy would smell like bacon, but that feels like really dark.
Oh, you'd be getting a karate chop if you said that.
I know.
Hi-ya coming right at you.
Kermit will smell like green apple.
Okay. You don't think he'd smell like the swamp?
No. He's not been in the swamp for a bit. Miss Piggy would smell like some kind of delicious perfume. Because, again, she's fancy.
Very fancy.
Fozzie smells like... I was going to say an ashtray.
No,
and like
Fozzie smells like...
because of his comedy club.
He smells like nervous sweats. Like those... like the flop sweats. Or maybe people throwing tomatoes at him.
Yeah. Rolf smells like the delicious dog shampoo from the Norway Pavilion.
Okay. Gonzo smells like chickens. Specifically Camilla.
Yeah. Sam the Eagle smells like barbecue.
Sure.
Because he's been working all day.
Yeah.
Smoking the meats.
Yeah.
Who are we?
Beaker
and...
Bunsen and Beaker.
They smell like sanitizer.
What about Animal? What do you think Animal smells like?
Animal smells like Axe body spray. Were those right? Did I win?
Oh yeah. Let me totally up your totals. I'll give you that one. What would the smells be? 7.5.
Plus extra credit because
7.5. So 75%. That's a C. Well done. You passed. You passed Objectively Subjective. The game where there's definitely right and wrong answers.
I love it. Now I can go on with my day of folding laundry and living life knowing I'm a winner of the Muppets.
We've talked before about how much we love the Muppets. It's the main reason we went to Jollywood.
Yes.
Probably 90% of the reason we went to Jollywood was to see Kermit and Miss Piggy in person.
Yeah.
But did you know there was a time when the Muppets were going to have a much bigger part at Hollywood Studios?
Yeah, because they have like a whole little area.
Yeah, I'm going to play this clip for you right now in case it's something you've never seen before.
Okay.
Dateline, Walt Disney World. The newest theme park in Walt Disney World is really growing. Coming to the Disney MGM Studios theme park will be the all-new Mickey's Movie Land. Roger Rabbit's Hollywood, with a wild ride on a Toontown trolley. Dick Tracy's Crime Stoppers, where guests can shoot it out with crooks. And the Muppet Studios.
So
what?
Yeah.
What happened?
None of those things. Okay, various things happened. So
what year was this?
This was okay. So MGM, which is now Hollywood Studios, opened in '89. It was rushed to get it open before Universal, which opened in '90.
Okay.
So like when Hollywood Studios opens, MGM Studios opens, it's kind of bare bones. So like it's like it has like two rides. It's like the Great Movie Ride and then the backlot ride. And then it's just like maybe shows and like performers and stuff like that.
Okay.
So immediately they start being like, this is the expansion. This is what we're going to do. This is okay. But they had to get it open before Universal. And there's more to that we can talk about.
I was going to say, I would say you get it open and have it good than just open it and have it flop.
It's who is open first.
Okay.
So the Mickey portion of it, which eventually ended up being like Sunset Boulevard, kind of where Tower of Terror is. So the thought process, supposedly, the thought process kind of is like at this time, Mickey wasn't the most beloved character. They hadn't done any like real Mickey shorts or anything like that in a long time. Like I know when I was a kid, I didn't like Mickey Mouse that much because he, to me, he was just like Tony the Tiger or like any other cartoon character that represented a brand. He's like Ronald McDonald. Okay. So like kids at the time, for the most part, not everybody, but did not care for Mickey. So they like, we're not doing the Mickey thing. Roger Rabbit's land got scrapped because of kind of a rights issue of who owned him. Because it was made with Amblin Entertainment, which is Steven Spielberg, who was doing stuff with Universal at the time. So like that
still is doing stuff
correct.
With Universal.
And that relationship really got strained. So like they pretty much just scrapped all Roger Rabbit stuff. It's over in Disneyland, and there's still like, you know, remnants of him at Hollywood Studios, but like that's why that went away.
I never put that together before. That like Steven Spielberg really is like kind of like Universal. Like George Lucas is Disney, Steven Spielberg is like Universal.
Yeah.
But it is weird that Universal doesn't have Roger Rabbit stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then there was the Dick Tracy part. That was going to be like a whole ride similar to like the Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin or Men in Black, where you'd be on it and like have to shoot stuff.
Interesting.
But that movie did not do well at the box office, so they got rid of it. Yeah. And then there's Muppet Studios, which was going to be huge. At this time, that's when also they filmed the special for Magical World of Disney, where they did the movie that I just watched on YouTube. You can find it. It's an episode of the show where the Muppets are at Walt Disney World, where they bop around all over. Yeah. It opens with Eisner and Fozzie and his mom having dinner at the Grand Floridian. And then ends with them all putting their hands in cement in front of the Chinese theater.
Precious.
And Miss Piggy stays there too long and gets stuck because she stayed there to like sign autographs and stuff.
That's cute. I wish there was more Muppets at Hollywood Studios. They have that whole little wing. Mm-hmm. They could do so much.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the second clip for you.
Okay.
And the Muppet Studios with a Muppet Vision 3D movie and the Muppets Movie Ride.
It'll be a backstage ride of explaining how movies are shot, and it's almost, but all the information is wrong.
That would have been cute.
Yeah. So kind of what happened with that is, so Jim Henson and Disney kind of had like they talk about in the documentary a little bit, like a handshake agreement.
Yeah.
Basically, Jim wanted to kind of stop running the business and just wanted to focus on doing creative stuff. So he was going to basically merge with Disney and then stay on as like a creative consultant. So they started moving the process on this, but nothing was really like officially set in stone. So he passes away very quickly, very abruptly, and Disney can't really reach an agreement with his estate. So everything goes away except for Muppet Vision 3D, which kind of had already been in the process. Then, so when it was opened, it was Jim Henson's Muppet Vision 3D.
Yeah, I do remember that. I think it was even Jim Henson's Muppet Vision 3D in like the 90s, wasn't it?
Yep, and we'll get there. Okay, so what this land would have been is first kind of the marquee attraction for it would have been the Great Muppet Movie Ride, a parody of the Great Movie Ride.
So good.
You'd go behind the scenes where the Muppets are making parodies of movies like Peter Pan and Frankenstein.
My God, that would have been so fun.
It would have been great. You'd have Miss Piggy.
Why can't they do it now?
They could. They could do anything.
They just have to remember. We just have to call them and tell them.
Yep. Like, you have to be like, hey, I know the kids love Star Wars and Toy Story, but we really need that Muppet Land.
I think the kids do love Muppets. Like,
I think it's millennials and Gen X.
I don't know. We took baby Lily, and when we gave her first Kermit, she like attacked him.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I was gonna have that Kermit sitting in the back.
Oh.
He was supposed to be
this very Kermit here.
He was supposed to be sitting in the back of the set the whole time. I forgot all about him. Sorry, Kermit.
Hi, boys and girls. I'm Kermit. Kermit the Frog. Was it close?
Well, the laugh, that was Ernie's laugh, for starters.
Kermit laughs like that, too.
Okay. No, Kermit's more down here. Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog. Little Ray Romano.
Jim Henson, I had no idea that he really didn't do much to be Kermit. Like, a little bit, but it was mostly just his voice. Well, now he gets a
And the other thing would have been the Great Gonzo's Pandemonium Pizza Parlor. So this would have been run by Gonzo and Rizzo. It would be an interactive restaurant with animatronic rats that would deliver food.
Yes.
The Swedish chef would be running the kitchen.
That would be fun.
Occasionally there would be explosions. The door would fly open with smoke and feathers coming out.
I want all of that.
And there would be monitors around the restaurant where you could see the kitchen.
The chaos.
Yeah. So that would have been super fun.
I want all of that.
We do still have a Muppets restaurant in Pizza Rizzo, but
we now have a Muppets. What was it originally?
Pizza Planet.
And then now it's
Pizza Rizzo.
Pizza Rizzo, and it's Muppet-ish.
Yeah, there's definitely not this fun stuff.
Not at all. I want all of that.
So anyways, things changed when Jim died, so it became only Muppet Vision until Disney purchased Muppets. So it wasn't like a merger; they own the Muppets now.
Wow.
And in 2004 is when they made the purchase and removed Jim's name from the attraction.
So there's absolutely no reason we can't have a Muppet rock and roller coaster.
No, but that's why like Jim Henson, or that's why the Muppets can pop up at like Jollywood and stuff.
Yeah.
Or they were just at the 35th anniversary of Hollywood Studios, the opening ceremonies.
Yeah.
So yeah, they could do it. And then, of course, in 2019, the Liberty Inn quick service restaurant was closed at Epcot and reopened the following February as Regal Eagle Smokehouse. And closed in March because it was 2020.
I was going to say, because it got a lot better now that it's the Regal Eagle. Like, people actually go there and eat there. Before then, I don't think it, like, drew in a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, it's like, why would you go to Epcot and eat in America? Is always my thoughts.
Well, that's true, because even if, like, Disney World does bring in a lot of international, like, travel. But I guess, like, even if you're there, you're eating American food, like, at every quick service. Why would you eat there? But it is delicious. I eat American
food 365 days of the year.
Well, that's us who live here, but maybe they were doing it, to be part of the... I always thought it was weird that America was even part of World Showcase, because, like, step away a second and you're in America.
It was supposed to be even bigger part of the World Showcase. I watched, like, a history of the World Showcase when they first tried to have, like, 30 pavilions, and the first one you entered would be America, and it was like, here's our glorious history.
Yeah, that's like the most American thing.
Next week we'll be playing a game about Inside Out, or maybe just Pixar in general. I'm not quite sure.
Fun.
Yeah, and then that's because Inside Out 2 is coming out soon, and then in theory the following week we'll be able to like give our thoughts on Inside Out 2.
Nice.
So yeah, next week we're going to be playing a game on either Inside Out or Pixar.
Fun.
Haven't figured out the game yet though.
I feel like I have a lot to brush up on, especially since we just did trivia night at a local pizza place, and apparently I don't know as much as I just got the rainbow mug.
Yes, this is my rainbow cup. I don't have a Muppet mug.
I know. We need Muppet mugs.
But we got first place in trivia night. Liz and I did well, and you were there. Hey!
I got like one question right.
Yes, and you paid.
You're welcome. Okay, friends, if you enjoyed this show, please go to your podcast player of choice and click on follow and then turn on automatic downloads.
Not only will this help the podcast, but it will guarantee you have the best listening experience possible.
If you head to Apple Podcasts and write a 5-star review, we might read it on the show, especially if it's funny.
Why did you say it like that?
Because wouldn't we get almost no reviews? Don't you think you'd read any review? I mean, obviously if it's mean.
I wouldn't read any review.
But like, funny or not.
And we also won't read 4-star reviews. So if you want to be read, you better leave a 5-star review. Anyways, make sure to follow Big Thunder Pod on Instagram and subscribe on YouTube.
Thanks for coming, and we'll see you next week.
And enjoy the ride.